What's up, Rams? Thanks for tuning in to CTV Channel 11. You are watching Humans of CSU, the show where we talk about humans of CSU. I'm your host, Frankson, and as the host of the first show of the new semester, I would just like to officially welcome you all back to the greatest place on earth, which is college, or as I like to call it, bigger, expensive high school. I went out into the plaza to ask you guys how your break was and what your plans are for the upcoming semester. Okay, cool. So, okay. Are you excited to be back at school?
Yeah, it's kind of like, let's just get the semester started already. It's like you knew it was coming, you dreaded it the whole break.
Yeah. How many credits are you taking?
15, which is nice because last semester I took 17. Yeah.
That sounds awful.
I went to Mexico for a week.
Over break. Where in Mexico?
Playa del Carmen.
That's fun. Are you excited to be back at school?
Yes, I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah.
What are your plans for the semester?
Just study a lot, and I'm going to try to walk on to the football team.
Ooh. How's your break?
Boring. Didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
I played golf.
You play golf? Is that your favorite type of sport?
Yeah.
What'd you do over break? Do you celebrate Christmas? So what are your plans for the semester?
I'm going to do some gen eds. I'm doing HDFS and then gonna apply to elementary ed next year.
Nice.
I plan on having no plans, actually. I want to not go out that much this semester for once.
Nice.
It's pretty boring, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Wow, that was really rude. Do you like school?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I like it, don't like it sometimes. Like, it's nice to be back, like, on break, but, like, it's nice to be, like, always doing something, having something to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. Hi. Will you be my friend? So, why did you choose a computer major?
Well, I wanted to do business, and it was the hardest major in business, so I figured I'd challenge myself.
Oh, that's really cool. I would never challenge myself ever in my whole life. So, how was your break?
Oh, it was great. Nice to see some friends back in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's where you're from?
Yeah.
Cool. So, are you excited to be back at school?
Oh, yeah. So excited to see some of my homies back here
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but
How many credits are you taking?
15 this
Nice.
semester.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Do you run every day?
Maybe, sometimes.
That's really cool. So, I'm sorry, I gotta stop this. I can't do it anymore. Bye, thank you. That was the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I'm so tired. That was probably the most that I've ever ran in my life. We'll be right back, but don't leave yet because I have here with me Residence Hall Association Senate member Ethan Bird here to tell you all the latest and greatest about the RHA, which I somehow just learned existed 20 minutes ago. Right back after the break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to Humans of CSU, and with me right now I have Ethan Bird, who is a Residence Hall Association member. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty great.
Good.
Thanks. Yeah. So, first things first, your name is Ethan Bird.
Yeah.
So does that mean that one or more of your parents is an actual bird?
No, not quite.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. Anyways, so what is the Residence Hall Association?
So the Residence Hall Association is really the governing body of the residence halls. But what I'm part of in particular is the Senate, which is a student government that helps to represent students in the residence halls, along with the RAs and just halls themselves. So if an RA would want to put on a program and needed funding for that, they would come to us, say we need this much money, and we'd vote on whether or not we'd help allocate funds to them.
So what sorts of like events do you guys put on?
Probably one of the biggest ones we helped fund last semester, and actually we're going to help fund this semester, is Spring and Fall Drag Show that we do. We help to fund that. There was I think Corbett did a trip to like a haunted corn maze to help it was at the beginning of the year, so it was to help students meet new people, along with they did an educational part about cultural appropriation around Halloween, so
that's really cool.
There has to be something educational about the programs.
Yeah, for sure. That's really cool. So how did you decide that you wanted to join it?
It was actually my RA. He introduced me to it. It's just a great organization. Like I'm really lucky to be able to be a part of it.
Yeah. So like, what's the process for someone who wants to join the Residence Hall Association?
Really, anyone can join. Especially right now, we still have room for more senators. So if anyone watching is a part of, is in a residence hall and they want to get involved, we have room for more senators. So get in contact with your hall council so that you can learn the steps to get part of it. It's a really easy application process, and I really encourage anyone who's interested, come check it out.
That's cool. So what else is there other than just the Senate?
Well, along with the Senate, there's the executive board. So we have a president, like a development director, stuff like that. It's a whole branch off of hall council. Mm-hmm. So in order to be an RHA senator, you have to be an active member of your hall council. So hall council, I guess, is really the root of it.
Yeah. So is there like a hall council for each hall, and then like the Senate is like one thing, or is there like?
So every residence hall here at CSU has its own hall council, and then from that, there's 3 senators from each hall that represent their hall and the residents that live in their hall. That's cool. Inside the chamber.
Cool. So do you guys have like council meetings?
Yeah. Every Monday night for a couple hours, we hold, it's a parliamentary procedure meeting where we vote on bills, resolutions, whatnot.
Yeah. So do you guys collaborate with ASCSU at all?
I think we do. We haven't so far yet this year, but they're both really great student-led governments that really help to represent CSU really well.
Yeah. So what's like the actual difference between ASCSU and the Residence Hall Association?
The biggest one is you have to be living in a residence hall to be a part of RHA. ASCSU it represents the whole university as a whole. The main function of RHA is to give a voice to the students living in the residence halls so that we can hopefully represent the residents inside our halls the best that we can and help them to have the best experience that they can.
So do you guys as Senate members do anything with people living in residence halls to like sort of see what they have to say about things?
Yeah, sometimes, especially whenever a bill is presented on the floor, we don't vote on it that day. We take it back to our hall council, and we talk about it, whether or not we'll vote yes or no on it. Maybe run a survey with the residents inside of our hall to see really what the idea about it is, and then we take that information to accurately represent our hall.
Cool. That's really cool. So would you say that the hall government is reflective of the United States government?
It works a lot more smooth. But yeah, we go by a Parley Pro procedure. So everything, there's a time limit on how much you speak. Everything is presented in bills. It has to be presented by the bill author, along with, it has to be, what's the word? Sponsored by someone else inside of the Senate. So it's a good kind of idea of how the United States government works, really the Senate floor.
Yeah, cool. So, like, who writes the bills?
Us. It's completely, well, RAs sometimes do, like if RA needs funds, but it's really bills that come to us are either written by senators or RAs. We write resolutions too. So, like, what a resolution would be is we just passed one that's going to require the university to make compost bins accessible to every residence hall.
Oh, cool.
Because there's really it's not very accessible right now, and composting is kind of it's really important. So it's stuff like that.
Yeah. So, like, what sorts of things are you working on right now? Is it just the composting thing, or?
Right now we haven't met for this semester, so we don't have any bills. Our first meeting is on Monday, so I'm excited to get new bills and stuff.
Yeah.
like that.
What sorts of things did you guys do last semester then?
Last semester, we passed lots of minor bills for RAs to put on programs. The drag show, the compost thing. We get a lot of presentations from organizations on campus. Like El Centro came and talked to us. The coach of the volleyball team came and talked to us. He wanted us to get kids in our halls to come to an important volleyball game. Yeah, we're really involved with the community, CSU community. So it's a great organization.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have right now, but don't leave yet, because coming up next, I asked some people on the plaza some really hard questions, and it's actually really funny to see what they had to say after the break.
Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to Humans of CSU. Now, I don't know about you, but I love asking people dumb questions. It is so funny to see what they have to say, and it's also strangely a great way to get to know people. So I took it upon myself to go out on campus and ask people some weird and somewhat difficult questions. What's up, Rams? Thanks for watching Humans of CSU. I'm your host, AJ Frankson, and I'm here on campus asking people some really hard questions. If you could only wear one type of shoe for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably Nikes.
Nikes? Like what kind?
I'd say probably like some free runs or something like that. You can just do a lot in those, I'd say.
Cool. I don't know any different type of Nike shoes, so. If you could live with one celebrity for a week, who would it be?
I would live with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Why?
I think he's a great actor. I think he stands for a lot of good causes, and he'd be fun to party with. Yeah.
Are Pop-Tarts a type of ravioli?
No, not consider Pop-Tart ravioli.
Why not?
It's more of like a pastry little snack that I try to stay away from.
What about you?
I'm going to say no also, but I want to say yes.
Say yes. But no?
No.
Are Pop-Tarts a type of ravioli?
Yes.
Good answer. Do you believe that Pop-Tarts are a type of ravioli?
I mean, they could be, because there's like a jelly inside with a carb on the, I think it's a ravioli.
All right, solid logic. Would you live on Mars forever if you could?
No.
Why not?
Too far away from everything. I wouldn't know what I was doing.
Do you think God lives in heaven because he's scared of what he created?
Ooh. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. that's kind of hard to decide whether what he created is a good or a bad thing, but heaven seems pretty awesome about what I hear, so.
Are you the kind of friend that you would want to have as a friend?
Yes.
Yeah?
I sure hope so.
Why?
I don't know, I like to help people out, and I'm usually always down to do stuff. And I care about my friends, so yeah.
Does spit have a taste?
I don't think so. I think everyone just knows what their own tastes like, so.
If you were God, would you stay in heaven or would you come down to earth?
I'd probably stay in heaven. Seems pretty cool.
If space is proven to be expanding, what is it expanding into?
Nothing, because that's how the universe works. I don't know. I honestly do not know.
That was a solid answer. Thanks for that confidence that you had. If you could choose between love and trust, what would you choose?
Oh dear Lord. Love? I don't know. Doesn't that entail trust? Isn't that like part of it? No. Okay, then love, I guess.
How come?
Because I don't know. It's a better feeling, I guess, to me.
Profound. Coming up next, I have Xavier Hadley with me, who is a local musician here at CSU who just released a new project out on SoundCloud. Don't miss out on his cool tunes after the break.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Welcome back, Rams. Here with me is Xavier Hadley, a musician slash artist slash really cool person. So how are you today?
I'm doing all right. Kind of sleepy.
Yeah, me too. I'm always sleepy though. So what inspired you to start making music?
What inspired me to start making music? I guess it's kind of something that I've like always wanted to do. Like growing up, I'd see people like Usher or like Chris Brown, who I do not listen to today. And then like I'd listen to like Linkin Park and stuff, so like watching those videos was really inspiring. And then I think my senior year of high school, I heard about this dude named Petit Biscuit or something like that, and like his music was really cool. And then I learned that he was 16 and I was like 18, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like if this 16-year-old is off in France making these really cool things and I'm like just aimlessly wandering through high school, I feel like I should like make what I want to do happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just released a project called Ghost on the Run.
Yes.
Yeah. So walk me through that process.
Walk you through.
Yeah, the whole
starting
process.
like the whole thing.
Well, as much as you would like to share.
Okay, I don't really know where to start. I guess like over time I've just been making a lot of songs, and then like after a while I was like, okay, so these songs kind of fit together, and then I would make another one and be like, okay, this one also fits with these ones in some form or fashion. And like I guess I initially like made the project to kind of like detail some sort of like self-percept in a way. I don't know, like it starts off and I think it's kind of like comedic in a sense, where some of the songs are like funny, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And then like it kind of takes a more in-depth look at what I thought of myself at the time, but like that's just constantly changing.
So I went ahead and listened to your music, and my favorite song was Fake Love.
Ooh.
Yeah, so let's hear a little snippet of that real quick.
God. So weird.
Everybody showing fake love. Everybody showing fake love. Oh, everybody showing fake love. everybody showing fake love.
So, what do you think about that song?
That song. What do I think about that song? I think I could do a lot better. I don't know.
Why?
When I initially made it, it just like wasn't really about anything. It was like I made this little arpeggio with my guitar, and then I added some percussive stuff to it, and then I just like said some words, which I later found meaning in, but like I guess recently I've been trying to be a lot more deliberate about like what I put into just a work in general, like be it a, I don't know, photograph or like a writing piece or something like that, anything of that nature. So I could do a lot better in the sense of just being more exact and precise with what I'm making.
So what are some of like artists today that you kind of look up to?
I guess I could say Frank Ocean. He's a really big inspiration to me. Who else? There's just so many, because like I've been reaching back and like listening to Ella Fitzgerald and like Frank Sinatra, and I don't know, I'm just trying to like expand my sound or something like that. Yeah. Who else inspires me? Just people, typically black people that I can, or that I perceive to be like free-spirited and open-minded and social justice oriented in some sense. So yeah, that's typically where I look for inspiration. It's hard to come up with names right now. Steve Lacy was a huge person for me for a while, and like Tyler, the Creator.
Oh yeah.
And then I have a lot of friends. My friend Joseph, his stage name is like Temperex, and actually like a lot of my friends really inspire me too, because I watched this Issa Rae interview, and she's talking about like reaching across like with people within your own league rather than like trying to reach up, because like if you continue to help one another and like grow with one another, then like you'll grow at the same rate.
Right, yeah. So do you like collab with any other musicians that you know, or just kind of?
Yeah, I'm kind of like against saying what I like to do or what I'm going to do before I actually do it. But like whatever I do next is going to be by myself, because like I want to see, because now I've gotten myself to a point where it's like I have this skill set and this skill set, and before, like with the Ghost on the Run project, I don't know why I did air quotes, but that was like a really big collaborative project with me, because like I would reach out to a lot of friends that I've met like on SoundCloud and Instagram and be like, hey, you do this and I do this, and let's see what we can make together. I've kind of like lost where what I was talking about, my train of thought.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so
so yes, I do collaborate with people.
That's cool. So how would you describe your sound or your genre of music?
I don't know. It depends on the song, because I guess I don't know if this is just like reflective of me as a person, but like the genre in which I reside is kind of like unstable, because like I'll go between like dream pop type stuff or like alternative indie, or sometimes I'll try for alternative R&B, or I'll try for like more of a neo soul, like neo jazz kind of thing. And it just ranges. Okay, I'll just say this. My next thing is more like alternative R&B and dream pop type stuff. Like I look to like Wild Nothing for inspiration, if you've heard of them, or Temperex, my friend, and then like just a bunch of other people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like,
yeah, it's nice to not be like limited by a title. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, what instruments do you play?
What instruments do I play?
Yeah.
First instrument I ever learned was the recorder in elementary school.
I think we all kind of did that for some weird reason.
Wonderful squealing thing. And then, okay, to make it quick, piano, guitar, like various percussive instruments, including like xylophone, marimba, like anything that you'd find in a high school band room, because I was in band.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So do you try and use like all of those instruments when you're making music, or what do you kind of try and focus on?
That's hard, because I guess recently I've been focusing more on guitar, because like I don't know, I really just admire like the various types of sounds that you can make as compared to a piano, which like in my view, you can only do so much with, because yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you have more control over what comes out of a guitar as compared to a piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I play guitar too.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
Right.
pretty cool. So how do you go about making a song? Like, do you like sit down like I'm gonna make a song, or does it kind of just like come out of you?
It depends on the day, because sometimes I like sit down and I'm like, this is what I want to make, this is how I'm going to do it, and then it's like just very procedural or systematic. And then sometimes I just sit down and like just mess around, and then something comes out that I like, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll do more stuff that comes out, and I just like it. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So like, why do you make music?
Why do I make music? I think words are extremely important to me, and I like to, I don't know. I do know. It's hard to put into words right now.
Yeah.
So I guess I like to create, I guess, visual images with, I guess I'll just say beats for now, for lack of a better word. And like pairing that with words, I feel like you can create something very beautiful and tangible. I don't know, just with like poetry and music, and then like I'd love to be able to pair that with like photography or videography.
Right. Yeah. So you do other artsy things other than music.
Yes, yeah. I do.
So like, what else do you do?
What else do? I write quite a bit. I've been taking photos on and off since middle school, but I got really serious about it after I graduated high school. And then I do music, and I'm starting to get into cinematography or videography.
Cool.
Today I was just wandering around campus, and I ran into my friend, and he was like recording something, so I helped him out with that. And then I ran into another friend who was editing something, and now like I understand how to record and edit, so I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Later.
Yeah, for sure. So do you hope to make a career out of being a musician, or?
If I could do it anonymously, I would love to do that, because like people drain me. They
Yeah,
make me tired.
definitely.
Like I love being around people, but I feel like in being a musician, you kind of become an idol, and I don't know if I want to be dehumanized in that sense. So
yeah, you could be like Frank Ocean, just
maybe
never does anything live.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just be me too. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today, folks. But thanks for watching Humans of CSU with me, your host, AJ Frankson, and I will see you next time.